How do you think about investing your personal capital? Obviously, you've done well and you've exited some of these businesses. You've bought assets also, and you have your own venture capital firm and you're investing a lot. But how do you think about personal asset allocation?
Yeah, I don't really like to complicate life too much and get into too many different classes. It's basically three things really. It's sort of have money in cash, have money in my existing startup that I'm all in and focused on, like Wonder. So I invested quite a bit in that company because I believe it could be a really big successful business. And then it's putting money into the venture capital firm. So all the investments that I've made sort of outside of VCP are sort of becoming part of the VCP venture fund, so that I don't have all this miscellaneous stuff out there. Like I think when you have like investments in a lot of different asset classes and a lot of different things, then you need a family office, and that adds complexity and time. And I like to be really focused. So I want to spend all my time basically on my existing startup, and then the venture capital fund. And so that's how I sort of think about it. Obviously the team, and the team too, but that's not from an investment standpoint. I don't really think about that. Is
How does that work, by the way? Is there just like, I think I asked you this when we met the first time, but along the lines of like, how did you figure out what to pay? Was that a long process? And then do you just literally like wire them hundreds of millions of dollars, or is that done differently?
you mean the team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it actually happened faster than we could have imagined it. I think Alex and I were, hey, do you want to meet Glenn Taylor, the Minnesota Timberwolves? And at that point, we had lost the bid to buy the Mets, and we were kind of depressed, and we weren't like completely ready to get into a new relationship. We were sort of after we were dumped, and so weren't really like fired up and like, oh wow, this is going to be incredible. We're going to buy an NBA team now. We said, we'll take the meeting. And we met with Glenn and Becky, and I don't know, we just really hit it off, and it sounded really fun, and we just connected with them in a way that got us fired up. We went from 0 to 100 in like a few hours, and Alex and I both looked at each other and were like, "You want to do this?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's go for it." And I don't know, a few days later, we had signed the LOI, and it all happened so fast. It was pretty incredible. We had heard that it would be tough to get a deal done because others have had a hard time getting a deal done with Glenn and Becky, but I think we just took a very different path. We weren't mercenary private equity guys like coming in trying to like get at the lowest possible price. I think Glenn and Becky had said, this is the price we're looking for. And, we thought it was fair. And so we just said, yeah, we'll do it for that price. We didn't negotiate at all. And I think most people say, how can you not negotiate? That seems crazy. I'm sure you left money on the table. And, my answer there is, sometimes the best way to negotiate is to know when not to negotiate. And this is one of those cases where it was a fair deal, and it is a prized, sort of, there's only 30 of these teams in the NBA. And we felt like it was fair, and it was not the time to negotiate. And so that's kind of how it got done.
Mark, I am part of a investment group that is buying a small League Two team in Europe, a soccer club, and they trade for like $5 million. And the process to buy it, it's going to be announced soon, but has taken like 6 or 7 months at this point. And I love the fact that you guys bought a $1.5 billion team in days when it came to negotiation and everything like that. So that's incredible. The last thing I want to talk about is just your general thoughts on what's happening in crypto, right? Have you spent any time looking at Bitcoin or any of the other assets or even any businesses from a venture capital perspective that are in the market?
Yeah, no, I've definitely looked at it and helped Michael Rubin and team create the NFT company Candy as well. So yeah, I've definitely had my hands in it. I don't own any Bitcoin. I still a little bit. I don't know. I'm just as an investment. I like the blockchain. I think there's a future for that technology. I think there's so many use cases, but I also think there's a little bit of a bubble happening. I think I've just seen, I guess, too many times, without a clear way to value it from an intrinsic value standpoint. I just find it too hard to get into the market. I mean, you need to be able to definitively say, like, this is what it's worth based on these underlying fundamentals, and I can't do that. And so I shy away, even though it could go up, it could double, it could triple, it could keep going. It's just not something that I typically would engage in.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to your other point also, which is like, you know what you're really good at, and you're going to focus your time, energy, and effort on that.
Yes.
And there's no reason to involve all these other asset classes and all these other things.